If you're a young person on the internet right now, let me tell you about a film I have just discovered. The film of 2026 already for me. I'm serious. Our hero Balthazar is a rare movie that actually understand what it's like to live online for people like you and I. So it follows this rich New York City kid who's desperate for online validation and Vogue points. And then there's a young man from Texas who is messy but also very terrifying. He's hopelessly looking for direction. What happens when these two meet each other? There's also school shootings involved, and it's a comedy. Director Oscar Boyson's name mainly caught my attention. Oscar has been producing for the Safdie brothers for years. He's been on films like Good Time, Uncut Gems. So he knows how to make these really intense New York City stories. This is his directorial debut. The cast of this film, who you will also hear from in this really mazedar interview, is stacked. You've got Noah Centineo. Yes. To All the Boys I've Loved Before, that Noah Centineo, Jaeden Martell from It, Knives Out, and Asa Butterfield from Sex Education. And of course, we also have the director and his co-writer, Ricky Camilleri. So if you've not heard of our hero Balthazar, watch this compilation of short interviews, which is as chaotic and really as fun as the film itself. Don't take my word for it, let's take a look at the trailer.
It's not fair that we have to worry about getting shot.
I pray to God, man.
This awful country is just chasing the violence it creates.
Hey, Noah.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. It's so nice to see you.
Oh, great to see you. What's going on?
Just the usual. I love your film and I can't wait to start talking to you about it. So the film came to me randomly in my inbox. The publicist was like, we're screening this film in New York City. Are you here? Can you make it? And I went and it is such a wild, wonderful movie, Noah. Congratulations.
Oh, wow. Whoa, thank you so much. I'm so happy you went.
I did, and I loved it. So you've been busy off late with so much action adventure, Noah Centineo. Recruit, Warfare, Street Fighter, You're the New Young, Rambo. Do you miss the rom-coms, dude, for the girlies, for the softies? Do you miss it?
I do.
Yeah?
I do miss it.
Are we going to see a return to that anytime soon?
I don't know if Gundam is exactly a rom-com, but yeah, it's me and Sydney Sweeney, and we got a thing going on in Gundam. So that's kind of I'm like slowly going back into that world.
For the girlies. But in
It's
this
for the
film,
girlies.
it's for the girlies. And
But
our hero
Balthazar is not a rom-com at all. It's a bromance, kind of a dark, funny, weird, crazy, dangerous, wild bromance movie.
It's such a great film.
Would you call it that? Would you call it a bromance movie?
I don't know if it's a bromance. It's definitely a movie for the bros, but with like a different lens towards broism, I suppose.
It's in the universe of bros. I love it.
Hi, gentlemen, Oscar and Ricky. Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going great. Congratulations on your film. I really loved it. My first question is, when were you first drawn to the crying boys of the internet phenomenon? And which out of the two of you?
This guy. Yeah, I was, I really felt bad for the young people who were growing up, being teenagers, kids who had to spend their 13th birthday inside by themselves during the pandemic because no one was allowed outside. But there was something kind of different going on around that time where you saw a lot of sort of performed identity and performed tears on social media. And something about that pattern was interesting to me and felt like the kernel of Balthazar.
I should fucking smoke you. Smoke, dumbass. With what? With a gun? Yeah, what the fuck you think?
Hey.
Hi.
Good, thanks.
How are you?
I am fabulous. I love your film. Congratulations on what I am calling my find of 2026 already. So,
Hey.
Nice.
well
I like
done.
that.
The film really sort of taps into how messy and confusing it is to be young right now. I'm looking at you, Jaeden, specifically. Does that resonate with you on a personal level? Or do you feel like because you've been working for so long, you've outgrown that phase in your life sooner than you needed to?
Well, I'm lucky that I've had work for so long. I'm lucky that I have things to keep me grounded. But if I didn't, I'd probably fall in the same hole. I mean, I get in a different way. I'm an actor, so it's like I have the same kind of whatever, schizophrenia or like different personality thing going on where it's like I try to have a different mask all the time. I think that's just humanity. But right now you just got so many options. There will always be that problem. I think people are always trying to figure out who they are, but now it's about the outlet. It's about how you can do it and how unhealthy it becomes. And because we have this thing that we're scrolling, trying to find a different personality. It's tough biz right now. It's hard to be young. It's hard to figure out who you are. It's not easy.
Yeah, I sympathize with you because I think it's harder than it was when I was 21, 22 years old. Asa, what do you think about it? I think it's a very overall stupid time to be young right now in the world, globally.
You know, it's social media and people's conceptions of what everyone's doing around the world are so skewed, and everyone has way too much information at their fingertips and way too much to compare themselves with.
And it's how it's curated too, because if we had little boxes with all the information in the world, if we had just had Google or whatever, it'd be awesome. It's what it should be used for. But instead we got big companies making it just knowing exactly how our brains work and like pigeonhole, like stuffing their way into our lives and making it so addicting and so like colorful and that you can't take your eyes off it. It's terrible. It's fucking terrible. It's hard.
It's how it used to be. It was encyclopedia for us millennials, and now it's just mutated into like this monster, I think. This film really sort of taps into how messy, and you just said as well, messy and confusing it is to be young right now. Does that resonate with you personally, looking back at your years as somebody who started acting at the age of 8, I think? Is that
Yeah,
when
that's
you
right.
began?
Yeah.
And then I think it's overall a very stupid time to be young. Don't you think?
A stupid time to be young. That's incredible. I can't speak for my personal experience of coming to age with social media because it's not even comparable to Solomon's or Balthazar's in this movie, right? I think they are more of like the younger side of Gen Z, and maybe even like the older side of Gen A-ish. So, but it's, I don't know, I don't know if it's a bad time to be a kid, but it certainly is an extremely complicated time. My God. And, these kids are having to deal with a waterfall of information and be privy to things about the world and be, really on the lookout for something called algorithms on their social media, which we never had to combat and learn to discern, as kids. So yeah, man, fuck, it's brutal being a kid right now. But with the amount of information that they have at their fingertips too, with a little bit of the ability to discern, it's also it could potentially be a very prosperous and very exciting time for them. It's just, they got to be able to think independently about what's going on.
I was just thinking about this yesterday as I was walking to my therapist's office. Like, I first got my first smartphone at the age of 24. That was the first time I got like internet in my palms. That's insane to think that like 9-year-olds and 10-year-olds have that. What is your relationship with social media right now, Noah? Because you've really majorly stepped back from all the tweets you used to do back in the day. Your Instagram is 3 posts, one of which is a trailer for our hero Balthazar. What's your relationship with social media right now?
I use it as a platform to communicate and joke with my friends. That's pretty much what I use it for. And I post to maybe try to advertise and let the people that follow me, keep them updated on things that I'm excited about. Yeah. But other than that, I really try to have a fairly hands-off, relationship with it.
Last night, I started DMing with a guy that commented, "Are you lonely?"
If someone's been living under many rocks and has no idea what American youth culture looks like today, they can just watch our hero Balthazar. It encapsulates everything. I think so. The tussle between what is woke and what is cringe, the overwhelming threat of gun violence that just looms large every day, reality TV, and how patriarchy has mutated into the manosphere, ill-adjusted young men. Did you have a checklist of things that you wanted to talk about through this writing, or did it just evolve naturally?
I think it evolves naturally. We definitely didn't have a checklist. It evolved naturally. And our hope was that we sort of circled a lot of those things rather than, dug into each one specifically. So it felt like you were reading a Wikipedia entry about the manosphere or a Wikipedia entry about gun culture, right? So it's more like reality, where we're kind of all circling these different topics, whether we're directly involved or not. And I think that in regards to youth culture, if that's the right way to define it, school shootings are just the most terrifying, tragic part of being an American, and it's primarily, with the exception of a few recent incidents, and every now and then there's an incident, it's primarily an American-born tragedy, and we're American filmmakers. So I think just diving into that and some of the elements that are around that ends up giving us a gateway into youth culture, and also not wagging our finger at them, because there isn't a lot of, as much as it feels close to youth culture, there isn't a lot of stuff in the movie that that are like language that we're lifting and trying to seem young all the time. Like, no one is looks Maxine or whatever the language is that the internet is using. We don't do that in the movie because we didn't. I think kids would be revolted by us, by 42-year-old men trying to do that, and they would sense the disingenuousness of the movie if we did something like that. So it has been one of our prides, I think, that young people have responded as well as they have to the movie and not felt condescended to.
And that even if we wrote it in 2022, it still feels now, right? Like. That's always encouraging, that even if you're going to bring in things like social media or AI or the manosphere, that the emotional arcs of the characters are timeless. Those are things that anybody's going to be able to connect with.
Yeah, that's actually one thing that I want to say that I haven't said yet, which is that oftentimes people respond to the movie by saying it's very topical. And I always say, what? And I always think, I read that and I'm like, we're talking about school shootings. It's been an American tragedy for almost 30 years, going on 30 years. Not really topical anymore. It's kind of just a timeless American tragedy at this point, Yeah. It's like, so it's weird to me when people say oh, your movie's so topical, and I'm always kind of like, I don't know. This isn't like a last year thing that's going on.
It's
just because it's not a period piece. Right?
Yeah. Which is such a wonderful achievement of craft to make this happen the way that you've done. You play a life coach in this film, Noah, a rich, spoiled kid's life coach, Anthony. Have you had a life coach, by the way, in real life, or have you ever felt the need for a life coach?
I have. I've spoken with a life coach twice in my life.
Was it helpful?
Yeah, it was. I did it once when I was 21. And changed my life. And I did it again sometime in my mid-20s.
But more than an actor, your contribution to our hero Balthazar is as a producer. This is the first time we are seeing the big Arkham logo on the big screen, which is a Zeppelin with the word Arkham misspelled underneath it. Can you decode the logo for your production house?
No. I refuse. But I will say this. It is to me, it's such a sick first film, to be a part of, and to be able to see our logo in front of Oscar Boyson's movie is just absurd, especially with Asa Butterfield and Jaeden Martell leading it. It's a cracked out movie, and it's a very it's just I feel blessed. I feel very fortunate.
Well, I will interpret the logo as I see fit, then, I suppose. But it is a real cracked out film. It's a really bizarre film. It's about so much youth culture, gun violence, but it's a comedy more than anything else. Why our hero Balthazar? It's a risky subject to pick up.
It's an extremely risky subject to pick up. And in fact, nobody wanted to make the movie. It was very, very difficult to get financing for it for that very reason, because it is, of course, a subject that must be dealt with an extreme amount of heart and compassion. And reverence. I think that when we read the script, me and my producing partner, Enzo Mark, when we read Our Hero Balthazar for the first time, we were thrown. We were thrown at the way that Oscar Boyson, the director and co-writer, he co-wrote it with his partner, Ricky. their ability to kind of fuse, these two epidemics that really are plaguing, mass shootings, school shootings in America, but also this loneliness epidemic caused by this brand new technology, because it is brand new, this whole wave of social media, this online interfacing, it's really asocial media, because being social is when you're sitting in a room with people, right? You can look them in their eyes and hear what they're saying. And this is more asocial, and you have this incessant need for external validation that comes from the internet, and it's creating these kind of divisions, these bubbles, these isolation bubbles, and especially if somebody doesn't have any like IRL friends, it can be really addicting and really dangerous. And so I think kind of compounding these two difficult subject matters to talk about in a film that is funny, it's a dark comedy, is extremely thrilling and suspenseful, and just a dangerous subject matter. I think doing that when we were reading the script, we were just floored by the way that Oscar and Ricky were able to tell the story and thread that needle. And I think do justice to it. Yeah, I don't know. It was so smart, and we love Oscar. I mean, obviously his track record as a producer with the Safdie brothers was, is part of our, upbringing. And the fact that it's his directorial debut, we saw a short film at Sundance, a year before we ever read Our Hero Balthazar and loved it. So, that's why Balthazar, you have this incredible visionary storyteller with all this experience of producing some of the best, like some of our favorite films, at least. We wanted to see it come to light. Nobody wanted to make the film, and we thought, okay, we might be able to help get it made. So we did.
Jaeden, you said in an earlier interview I was reading with one of your co-actors, co-stars Chris Evans, that sometimes you just cry in front of the mirror for fun. I bet that came handy while playing Balthazar. How do you cry on cue? How do you cry on cue and cry so much with like snot and everything?
It's right here. They're right here, and you push some liquid out of it. It just comes out if you're focused enough. It's kind of fun to do. No emotion involved. It's a simple act.
But is it nerve-wracking to play a character who cries without any emotion involved, and he's so unlikable and no redemption at all?
For an actor, it's just sort of a relief. It's actually it's less nerve-wracking, because you're like, I don't have to. I don't know. There's no getting anywhere. You're like, wherever I am right now, in mood-wise or like headspace-wise, is probably where he's at. It's fine. It's fake anyways, so just fake it and try to be good at it. But sometimes it's not so hard. I mean, sometimes it's not so easy. Like crying, I guess. Fake crying.
Well, easy, hard, whatever. You make it look easy. You make it look really good.
Is that sincere? Are you actually crying?
That's a good question.
What are your learnings of raising money for an indie film? Do you have any learnings that you can share with people right now?
A really big part of financing an indie film is packaging, right? Whether it's having the filmmaker that's bankable. If the filmmaker hasn't yet had a hit that financiers are comfortable with, you have to package a team of actors around that filmmaker that give it more value, right? So I think with Our Hero Balthazar, that was really the name of the game. Is one, package it with actors that bring value so that a financier can look at it and, be like, oh yeah, this might make money, And the other part of it is like, really showing the passion of those actors and the team of filmmakers that come together to get it made, so that the financier feels that the film can be made and will be made.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of just like, it's this balancing act, of trying to get people to see the vision of the director.
I attended your screening in New York City, and I'm still new to this city, and I'm still wrapping my head around $25 cocktails at bars. But you said that the apartment that your movie begins and ends at is a $50 million apartment. How did you get access to that for an indie, and what was the insurance like before you could use it as a set?
Well, the owner was very shout out to Benny who hooked that up. No. The owner of the apartment.
Okay.
Not Benny Safdie.
Yeah.
Not Benny Safdie, no.
Yeah. So I'm saying that Benny Hansen is his name, and he made it very very film friendly. He loved us. He loved what we were doing, and he saved our asses, I would say. But our producer, Miles Skinner, knew somebody in the building who knew somebody in the building and who knew somebody in the building. But it was one of the biggest production hurdles, because I knew that, hey, we're an independent film. This isn't going to be easy. At the same time, it's the first scene of the movie. If we're going to say that Balthazar's rich, like, it needs to look like he's rich. And if you put him in an Airbnb or, I don't know, a hotel, or you can just tell right away in a lot of indie films that we're supposed to believe this character's rich, but their apartment doesn't look like it. And I understand why, because ever since Succession, like, the most expensive, film-friendly, rich apartments in the city are impossible. They're like 50 grand a day minimum. So nobody can do that if they want to tell a story about a wealthy character or an ultra wealthy character.
Well, lastly, Noah, give me one big reason why people should go watch our hero Balthazar in movie theaters as soon as it comes out.
I mean, I think one reason is that it's a sick, independent film. You know what I mean? It doesn't have, huge, big money behind it. It wasn't made, with a bunch of computers that were generating worlds that are so beautiful and outstanding to look at and wonderful because they're spectacles. But it's like hardcore, gritty, heartfelt, electric, independent filmmaking. And you have Jaeden Martell, Y2K, you have and others, you have Asa Butterfield, Sex Education, coming together, completely transforming for these roles. It's just great acting, crazy filmmaking, young indie, up and coming shit, and it's exciting, and I think it's dope as hell personally, and I think that it'd be really cool if I think cinephiles are gonna fuck with it, and I think kids that are interested in looking at something that isn't just the same big bread and circus entertainment films, if they want to see something that's kind of edgier and more on the level, I think with like independent filmmaking and art, they should go check it out because it's hilarious and it's fucking weird. It's a weird, cool movie.
And if people want to see what a $50 million penthouse in New York City looks like, that too.
And if anybody wants to see me in a Speedo, I'm in a Speedo too. So there's also that.
For the girlies, Centeneo, for the girlies.
And the boys, come on.
And the boys, yes. I'm taking it very personally as a personal
That's good.
thing that you did.
It's for you. I put the Speedo on for you, actually, is what it was.
Noah, thank you so much. This was really lovely. And congratulations. Our hero Balthazar is the discovery of 2026 for me already. Brilliant film. And I'm so happy that I got to watch it. Thank you for chatting with me.
Thank you so much for your time. And thank you for seeing the movie.
Congratulations on putting together a wonderful film. Great cast, editing, music. The music is amazing. And it was just a deeply satisfying watch. Thank you for chatting with me today and good luck.
Oh,
Thank you. Thanks for spreading the word.
Both of you, Asa and Jaeden. Thank you so much for chatting with me today. And I wish you all the luck.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.